Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. We're on episode number 295, and today we're talking about what's changed on Amazon in the past 6 years of the Full-Time FBA Show, because today we're celebrating our 6th podiversary, and one thing that hasn't changed is my co-host, Stephen Smotherman. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for the invitation to come. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I think it's crazy. We've been doing this for 6 years now, and it's been a lot of fun, and we made up the word podiversary, and hopefully it's stuck.
Yep, I think it has. I'm excited that, for 6 years now we've had a podiversary, and we'll just keep on going until we decide to stop, but it's not going to be anytime soon. So let's get into it.
Sounds good.
As you can probably tell, we are so excited to be celebrating our 6th podiversary, 6 years of bringing you the Full-Time FBA Show. We're getting so close to recording our 300th episode as well, and we want to take a moment to commemorate this milestone. Particularly, we want to say thank you to our listeners for all the support you've given us over the past 6 years of this podcast. We started the Full-Time FBA website and blog way back in 2013, and it took a few years for podcasting to take off. We have truly loved making this show for you each week and hearing your feedback about how it has helped you in your Amazon business.
That's right. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this show without your encouragement and your feedback. You are literally the reason we make this show. I mean, we love helping sellers make a full-time income, only spending part-time hours through selling on Amazon FBA. And so truly, we love it. And this podcast has just been a way for Rebecca and I to spend some time with you, thinking about the things that are related to selling on Amazon that we think are the most important for you to know as you are growing and scaling your Amazon business and trying to make the most profits possible to gain financial freedom or save for the future or pay your bills today and tomorrow. I mean, we're truly grateful that we get to help Amazon sellers and their families pursue their dreams.
So for the rest of the show, we want to talk through what's changed and also what's the same over the 6 years since we started this podcast. I mean, obviously, a lot has changed in the world during this time. There was a little phenomenon that happened called the COVID-19 pandemic.
Just a little phenomenon, nothing, life-changing or earth-shattering or anything like that.
Right, no biggie. But really, aside from the obvious difference that COVID made in all our lives and our businesses since 2019, let's spend some time talking about how the Amazon reselling world has changed.
And one big change is that back in 2019, when we first started this show, Amazon had about 1.1 million active sellers on Amazon, and that seems like a lot, but today that number has almost doubled to 1.9 million sellers worldwide. That's active sellers, and that kind of growth, it's just no surprise that many other things about Amazon have changed and shifted, and sometimes shifted pretty dramatically.
I think another change that's come along with that growth in the number of sellers is the shift to the replen model that has become more predominant. I know at least for us, it is absolutely the way that we have run our business over the past 6+ years, as opposed to when we first started selling on Amazon and first started blogging over a decade ago. When the podcast started back in 2019, we were just starting to see that shift away from garage selling, thrifting, and clearance racks. They were just no longer a viable way to make a long-term steady income on Amazon. And at that time, you weren't really hearing a lot of people talking about selling replens. We came out with the Reseller's Guide to Replens in 2021, and it's been a cornerstone of what we've taught our coaching students the past few years. Learning how to sell replens is a must if you want to take your business from a hobby or a side hustle to a sustainable, scalable Amazon business that can provide you with profits for the long haul. And here's a fun fact. Searches for how to sell replens on Amazon have surged over 300% since 2020. So clearly sellers are eager to know this business model. And we have loved being at the front lines of bringing this model to the FBA seller world through the Reseller's Guide to Replens. You can check that out at fulltimefba.com/replens.
And another big change that's gone over the past couple of years since we first started the Full-Time FBA show is the rise in prominence of Keepa. You all know that I proclaim the necessity of using Keepa in your business every single chance that I get, and I've done so for many years. But Keepa really has cemented its place in the Amazon seller world to such a point that you really can't run a successful Amazon business without it. I mean, back in the day, we would teach our coaching students how to use tools like Keepa and Camel to look at the sales data. I mean, anyone remember Camel? I mean, if you started selling on Amazon within the last 6 years, you might have not, because Keepa has truly overtaken Camel as the only way to get sales rank and pricing history that you need to make smart buying decisions, and even just so much more data, because, I like to say it both ways. I mean, back in 2019, there were sellers who were trying to squeak by without Keepa, but today that's simply unheard of.
One more huge change is the developments that have happened with the Amazon algorithm, and they just keep getting to be more and more. I just don't know how else to say it. They're just more. So back in 2019, the algorithm was much simpler. I mean, it was still pretty complicated. It was an algorithm, and there was a lot about it that was unclear and kept us guessing, but there were some things that sellers knew about it, and they would try to game that system to increase traffic and conversion on their listings. I'm looking at you, keyword stuffing in titles and descriptions. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
Yep.
That was such a big thing back then. And some less savvy sellers continue to try to use those tactics to get more eyeballs on their Amazon listings. But the thing is, the current search algorithm, which is called A10, has so much more going on with it that is influenced by, literally by influencers and by outside traffic that's coming from other websites to the Amazon website. And it's also influenced by customer satisfaction and relevance. And frankly, keyword stuffing is going to harm those metrics because you want your customers to truly get the most out of a product page and spend time looking at it and being able to make a good buying decision.
So those are the major changes that we have seen over the past few years. I mean, Amazon continues to grow, and it's going to continue to grow. The number of third-party sellers is a huge factor of that growth. But along with just the straight number of sellers has come a change in the number of sellers who stick around versus the number of sellers who quit. We've seen an increase in the new sellers, but we've also seen a vast majority of them fail. They fall off after a period of a few months to a year. And it's just so much more important than ever to have a plan for selling on Amazon. Not just trying to do it willy-nilly, trying to figure it out as you go. You can't just throw together an Amazon business and expect anything to stick. I mean, you need to have goals. You need to have a strategy. You need to have systems. You need to have a business plan. And that hasn't changed over the years, even as Amazon has changed. Those who succeed in selling today are those who have a plan and pursue it.
Yeah, I think it's more important than ever to treat your Amazon business like a business and not like a hobby. We would love to help you through the Full-Time FBA coaching program, where we give personalized coaching and training for where you are right now in your Amazon business. We've been selling for over a decade, and we continue to sell on Amazon today. We work hard to stay up to date on how the third-party selling world works, and we bring our years of expertise together with current best practices so that we can help our coaching students build their own FBA businesses that can earn a full-time income. And eventually, we want to help you do it using only part-time hours. You can go to fulltimefba.com/coaching to see if you're a good fit for our program.
A couple more fun facts to round out this episode. Over 60% of Amazon sales from 2024 came from third-party sellers like you and me. That's a lot of sales on Amazon, 60%. The opportunities for sales and profits are simply astounding, and still today in 2025, even more so than back in 2019. And lastly, Rebecca, do you have any guesses on what the best-selling category is on Amazon that's been the same every year since 2019?
Well, I know what it is because I read the notes for this episode, but I have to say it's not what I would have guessed. I would have thought it was books. Honestly, I still think of Amazon as a bookstore, even though I know that for a good long while it's been the everything store.
Yeah, it's not books. That would be my thought as well. But the best-selling category every year since we started this podcast has been the home and kitchen category.
Yeah, once I saw that, I thought it made total sense, and I'm not surprised by that. And that's one of the categories that we recommend for new sellers to start with, and apparently for a good reason.
Well, as you leave us today, we have a small favor to ask. If you would be so kind as to leave us a review for the Full-Time FBA show, we would appreciate it so much. And we actually kind of see it as a podiversary gift that you're giving us, leaving us a review, because we hope we've been able to bring you just great information and helpful teaching over these past 6 years and almost 300 episodes. We'd love to see your review on your favorite podcast player so we can continue to help other sellers find that information and make lots of money on Amazon.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As a reminder, you can find the show notes and any links that were mentioned in this episode at fulltimefba.com/295 because we're on episode number 295.
And next week on the Full-Time FBA Show, we're going to be starting to talk about wholesale. And the main topic, the top 7 Amazon wholesale sourcing fails. Want to make sure you don't make these mistakes, so join us next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.